We started off the animation month with a movie of my choice, and we're ending with the same. Before we get to today's video, I want to take a moment to talk about Patreon. That's right, we are on Patreon now, and we have a bunch of tiers with a bunch of great rewards. You can subscribe and get things like early access to all reactions, depending on your tier, depends on which reactions you get early access to. You can vote on polls exclusive to patrons that will help determine future reaction series and more. You will get to just have various choices in terms of like getting to choose future reactions I react to, getting to choose first impressions I check out, all kinds of different rewards, and possibly more coming in the future. We're still new at this. We're still figuring things out. It's a process. It's a process. But we have multiple tiers, so whatever you would be able to donate, if you're able and willing to donate, is appreciated. It helps me out, it helps the channel out, it helps us grow. It's going to help just, standardly. It's just something new to check out. Plus, if you like getting the reactions early, that's also a plus. But it is optional. If you're unable to do it, that's completely fine. All reactions will come to YouTube just a little bit later, a week later or so. So, that all being said, thank you as always so much, and let's get on with today's video. And with that being said, hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to Guillermo Del Toro's Pinocchio, a movie that I am sorely disappointed no one has requested for me. I have been actively waiting for it. It has been in my request reward suggestion list on the Discord. And I really thought this would be requested for numerous reasons. I've reacted to multiple Guillermo del Toro things before. I have very much made my love for stop motion very clear. And it's just like, this absolutely seems like it would be entirely my thing. It's a darker take on Pinocchio than the, 40s movie from Disney. And it's like, I've been really, really wanting to see this, and no one's requested it. What's wrong with you, Venom? You request everything. Why haven't you requested this? But in all seriousness, yeah. So because no one's requested this, I kind of decided that when I was putting together this month, I decided to bookend it, have the first movie of the month and the last movie of the month be ones that I have been wanting to get to and been waiting for someone to request, and just it hasn't happened yet. So we started the month with The Glassworker, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. It was a beautiful, beautiful movie, very clearly inspired by Studio Ghibli, and I'm very glad I finally got to see it. And so now we're ending with this. Outside of this being Guillermo del Toro, outside of it being, the story of Pinocchio, generally speaking, I don't know any and of it being, stop motion. I don't know any specific details about this film, about how the plot differs from other takes of this story. Again, outside of the fact that it's darker, but that could mean a number of things. Because it's Guillermo del Toro. Like, darker for Guillermo del Toro can mean a lot. I mean, we've already seen that with the Cabinet of Curiosities series. There's a lot of different takes on what darkness means. But interestingly enough, this is also timely. Because people have been pointing out on social media, especially Twitter, how anti-AI Guillermo del Toro is, and how he's actively spoken out against it. And they've been pointing this out specifically because of Jorge R. Gutierrez. Another famed Mexican creator who is known for some amazing animated works, but has just recently sold out to AI, specifically with Amazon. And I made a whole video about this, expressing my disappointment and sorrow over it, because I've seen so many great works by Jorge R. Gutierrez, including the more recent pilot for um, El Guapo versus the Narco Vampires. But like, I grew up with his shit. Like, I grew up with El Tigre. I've seen his work in Mucha Lucha. It's like this was like kind of a big deal for me. And it was for so many people as well. I've seen so many people like from every culture, every kind of group, everything. I am bad at wording shit. Don't mind me. But people from every kind of background imaginable expressing their disappointment. Like Hispanic and Mexican people have been like mentioning how like he was a huge inspiration for them within the world of animation. And how they're disappointed and they find it really disheartening that he would promote something so actively harmful to the industry. And I've seen people who have just followed his work. I've seen people who really didn't know him that much outside of his recent stuff. And I've even seen other creators like Rubber Ross and Matt Braley and Dana Terrace getting in on the conversation and speaking out against AI. And so this was not intentional at all, because I had already been planning this. But the timing of this just happening to coincide with this and happening to coincide with people like raising up Guillermo Del Toro in response to this. Which, by the way, don't like overly praise any celebrity. Just don't do it. It's for your own sake, just don't. You're gonna be disappointed by something. Guillermo del Toro, from everything I've seen, seems to be a great guy, but he's not perfect. No one is. Like, just don't put people on pedestals. And it's not even just celebrities. Don't put anyone on a pedestal. It's kind of weird in the first place. We need to stop this entire culture of worship towards celebrities and just people in general that we have in the world. It's really fucking creepy, honestly. And again, it's just, a beacon for disappointment. So just stop, please. You can appreciate what people have said without like worshiping them and putting them on a pedestal. You can really enjoy an actor or a singer or an artist or whatever else without like over exaggerating how good they are. Because again, you might end up being disappointed. I mean, hell, I used to love Kevin Spacey, and now I see him as an atrociously evil person. And that's probably not going to change. So it's like, yeah. It's like, just temper yourself. But either way, yeah, I'm really hoping to enjoy this movie. I have a lot of hope, a lot of faith for it. Because again, pretty much all of Guillermo del Toro's works that I've seen have been pretty fantastic. I loved Cabinet of Curiosities. Pan's Labyrinth was insane in ways I was not expecting. Really, in ways I was not expecting. It got very, like, intensely real, considering the, creatures and stuff in it. But yeah. I just genuinely believe that, like, he's kind of an underrated filmmaker and all nowadays. So I'm excited for this. By the way, I don't know what other people thought of this movie either. I didn't really see any reactions to it or any responses on social media. So I don't know if this movie did really well. I don't know if it was mixed. I don't know. But we're about to make our own decisions and figure out what we think of it for ourselves. So let's check it out and get into this. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. Welcome to the Afterthoughts. We'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I looked a couple things up. First off, Burn Gorman, who was the priest, I found out who he was. Once I saw the picture, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I knew I heard that voice somewhere before. He was also the priest in Beetlejuice. That's really funny. Has he played a priest in a bunch of things? Is he like typecast as a priest character? I also just found out from looking things up that this movie was actually a passion project for Guillermo Del Toro that he had been trying to get made since 2008, and it was only released in 2022. He had been trying to get this made for so long, over a decade. Like, that's, what, a decade and a half, pretty much? Because Pinocchio is a property that he considers to be very personal for him. He says he has a personal connection to it, and the film he even dedicated to his parents. It's something that he worked super hard to get made, and he even fought for it to be 3D, or not 3D, stop motion, despite the fact that it would cost more and take longer and everything. Like, this was something that he put his everything into. And god damn it, you can tell. This movie is phenomenal. It's received exceptional acclaim, and rightly so. Which is wild that I hadn't heard, like, anybody really talking about this and hadn't heard anybody's thoughts on this prior. I guess people have been, like, just trying not to spoil others, and they've wanted people to see it for themselves, which is, you know, fairly good. This was, like... This is basically the new standard for a Pinocchio story, in my eyes. Drastically better than any other version I've ever seen. Drastically. In terms of the story, the themes, the messaging, the humor, the ridiculousness of it, the voice acting, the obviously stop motion animation, everything is just so damn good. It's almost crazy and wild to me how well this was handled. Even the ending, even kind of the almost bittersweet feel of it. Because with the end, it's like, it goes forward, excuse me, to after the death of Geppetto, the death of Spazzatura, of Sebastian J. Cricket. All of these characters, 3 of our main characters die. And like die of old age and natural causes and stuff too. I'm not talking about characters like the Podesta or Volpe who are, you know, killed. The Podesta, you know, blown up, and Volpe just dying when he lands on a rock in the sea. Really hard, really aggressively, really horrifically.
it's like this is a dark movie. It is really dark. Um, Obviously, like I'd been saying during the reaction, the war themes and all are big with Guillermo del Toro. He touches on that kind of stuff a lot, and with the time that this takes place in, like featuring Benito Mussolini, voiced by Tom Kenny. What the fuck? Um, is such a wild decision. But I like how silly they made him look and act, because it's like, if we're gonna make fun of anybody, making fun of a fascist dictator of the past is probably the right thing to do. Just the fascism aspect of this in general was wild to me. Like the first time they did the salute, I like I was like in so much shock I didn't even know how to react. I was like so like caught off guard by that. I'm like, did they just what? Like everything, every cog in my mind was turning at rapid speed, trying to figure out if I just saw what I thought I saw. But then it like pretty much blatantly says it later on and stuff, like talking about fascism and stuff, as if it's a good thing. Funny enough, too. Which, yeah, the Podesta, by the way, was an atrociously evil person. It's not just like Mussolini and stuff. It's like the Podesta, not just a horrific father, but a horrific person. And I'm glad that Candlewick survived, because like him ending up like forming that friendship with Pinocchio was nice. Though after, the incident that happened, there was no talk of them ever seeing each other again, so we don't know if like anything ever came from that. If they ever reunited at any point. It's a nice thought to think about, but yeah. Um I love the designs, like not only obviously the creature and like otherworldly spirit designs that we had, which are very Guillermo del Toro, but like even just the designs of different people and how like the puppets and whatnot used for the stop motion were like made to kind of represent their character almost. Not just like literally like, oh yeah, this is like Geppetto and whatnot, but like with Volpe, the sharp edges and points, the over the top, like ridiculous hairstyle and nose and everything. It's like his design screams villain, over the top villain. And you have someone like the Podesta, who is very prim and proper, has the mustache and everything. Like, he is like a fascist soldier. And his design, like, perfectly encapsulates that. And then you have, like, the proportions of, like, certain characters who are, like, the kids. The proportions on the kids and everything, with the bigger heads and the more, like, rounded features, even with different like shapes and everything, really sold their more innocent like view of things. It's just it's just wild how good the design work was, and that's pretty standard for Guillermo del Toro. I also like that there's like multiple actors here that I know have worked with him before. Like David Bradley is in the 2025 Frankenstein, even though that came after this, but still. And then you have Tim Blake Robbins, who was in Cabinet of Curiosities and stuff. And I'm sure some of these others have worked with him, and I'm not 100% remembering either. Um, but it's like, what a stacked cast. Like, so many amazing actors. Outside of the ones even mentioned, like Ewan McGregor was Sebastian and narrating this as well. That's just fantastic. Like, I love Ewan McGregor. Also, he's really hot, and I'm very attracted to him. But I love him as an actor. And you have fucking Kate Blanchett, like one of the big names in actresses, voicing a fucking monkey. You just have Kate Blanchett in the studio making monkey noises into a mic. I feel like nobody but Guillermo Del Toro could pull that off. I feel like nobody but Guillermo Del Toro could tell Kate Blanchett to make monkey noises into a mic and actually get away with it. Because that is so insane. And even smaller roles, like you had John Turturro in here. I think John Turturro is a completely underrated actor. Like, I was first introduced to him through Monk, because he plays Adrian Monk's brother, Ambrose. But he's been in so much. He was in the Transformers movies. I know he was in Big Lebowski. He was Jesus. He's so many things, and then you had fucking Tilda Swinton. Again, one of the best. And she's the blue spirit, or the forest spirit, or whatever it was called, the wood spirit. And her sister, Death. She was both of them, which makes sense. It makes sense that she would voice both of them. But it's like, that was Tilda Swinton. And it's just like, so many great choices. Christoph Waltz, of course, is like just always great. Genuinely, Christoph Waltz is amazing. There's just... I'm just so kind of in shock by how good this cast was. And it's like, to know that like Guillermo del Toro made sure to put everything into this because he was so passionate about it. The fact that it shows that he did that, the fact that everything came together in such a perfect way. Like, this is genuinely like an absolute feat of a movie. I'm not 100% sure on if I'd consider it perfect, but I might. Like, I'm struggling to find anything that I disliked, or anything that like I had any kind of issue with or found any kind of problem with. All the story elements, all the pacing, the writing and direction, again, the animation, the stop motion animation is so damn good. Like, I'd put it up there like with Laika in terms of stop motion, and Laika are like the best at stop motion. Like, have you seen the trailer for Wildwood? Like, holy shit. And they did Coraline and everything, Box Trolls, Paranorman. And now you have something like this, and it's like, it's on that level. And that's insane to say. Because even other, like, big names in stop motion, like Aardman, aren't quite on the same level as like Laika. Laika are like next level in the quality of the stop motion. Like, I really love stop motion. I really love stop motion, and this was just an absolutely breathtaking, brilliant display of that. I would love to see the making of videos for this. This movie was just... This might be Guillermo del Toro's magnum opus. I say this without hesitation and without like any kind of like quandary with that, but this might be his best movie. And again, considering it's a passion project and considering it's so deeply personal to him, like, that's as fitting as can be. I genuinely think that this ended up being the perfect movie to finish off our animation month with. Not only because of it being stop motion, but because of how much care was put into this, because of how, like, practically perfect it was. And again, I'll definitely be thinking about it more before I make a decision on whether or not to put it in my list of perfect films, because that list is still pretty damn exclusive compared to all the movies I've ever watched. But I think that I think that it might be, and I definitely think if it is, it deserves it. There's just so much to love about this film, and there's so many decisions that were made that I think were just such a great choice. Like not turning him into like a literal real boy in terms of like flesh and blood and stuff, and instead keeping him a wooden puppet, but just making him, mortal. I think that was the better decision. But he also still doesn't age. So his mortality only kind of remains in terms of like having to be killed. Um but then again, maybe not. Because he died after he became mortal, and then the Blue Fairy brought him back using the wish. So maybe it completely reset him and he was immortal again. It's hard to say because it's like nothing is confirmed with that. And like all Sebastian knows is what he's like knew up until his death pretty much. So yeah. Well, and he knows that Geppetto and Spezzatura also died. Though Geppetto died before him, right? It was Geppetto, then him, then Spazzatura. So he would have known that Spazzatura died after him. And would have, like, probably met Spazzatura in the afterlife. I would assume. But yeah. It's just... It's such a great depiction of this. Like, things are very different than in the original 1940 movie. And again, I don't remember enough about the original book because I read it like once. I don't remember enough about the actual book. But the funny thing is, I never really liked the original movie. I know a lot of people did, and a lot of people were really into like the darker themes and like Pinocchio like getting into trouble by doing stuff like smoking and drinking and shit. And obviously the scenes with like Monstro are famous. The scenes with like Lampwick turning into a donkey is like one of the most horrific early Disney scenes ever. It's so infamous for that. But at the same time, just as a film and in terms of like some of those older Disney movies, I just never really found it that entertaining and fun and enjoyable. There's certain aspects of it that I liked, but just as a whole, I always felt it was one of the weaker Disney films. And maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. But it was always one of the weaker ones to me, and I just never got into it as much as the others. But this is like something special. This was so much better than I could have ever imagined it to be. And again, I already expected it to be good because Guillermo Del Toro. Also, apparently, let me make sure I get this name right. The other director in this, Mark Gustafson, passed away a couple years after he helped direct this. He passed away in 2024 at 64 years old. This was his last work. Prior to this, he worked on The Adventures of Mark Twain in 1985. He worked on Claymation Easter in 1992, The PJs in 1999, and Fantastic Mr. Fox in 2009, which was Wes Anderson, so another big director he worked with there. But yeah, like, this was his last, like, work prior to his passing, and, like, just the amount of, like, effort and work that he and Del Toro put into this. Like, I've been giving all the credit to Guillermo, but, like, he absolutely is part of it, too. He's absolutely, like, deserving of credit. And it's just it was everyone who worked on this is deserving of all the credit for this. Everyone put in so much work. Everyone who did the animation and the stop motion, everyone who did the voice acting and the lighting and everything, the sound track, the score, like the actual songs in it, not just the background music and all. Everything was so well done. And it's just it astounds me. And I this is definitely one I want to see again and again. I don't know if there's any reactions on YouTube for it, but I'm definitely gonna look. I'm definitely gonna check. Because I would love to see certain reactors takes on this and see what they have to say, like Real Rejects or Omni Media or various others. I would love to see them react to this. But yeah, this was phenomenal. But before we close this off, I do really quickly want to mention that next month there will be no monthly movie week. Next month in June is our Pride special instead. Because June is Pride Month, we are going to be celebrating with a special of various films. There will be an update video posted the same day this goes live to YouTube. It's going to be posted to YouTube. And that update video will go over a reminder of what all the films for the Pride special will be. But you can also check on the channel. Well, I guess as of when you're watching this on YouTube, you'll just wait for it since it's coming the same day. But if you're watching this on Patreon, you can also check on the YouTube channel because there is a video, an announcement video for the Pride 2026 special. So just look that up and you'll be able to find it. But yeah, so that's going to be coming. And then in July, we're actually going to be doing something special in regards to this. There will be a monthly movie week at the end of July, which will be, let me get the dates right here. It'll be Monday, July 27th through Friday the 31st. But not only will all of those movies, but every single movie in July will be randomized. So we've done this on the channel before. It's something that's like not new. Every now and again, we do it where we randomize the movies by putting a bunch of the movies that are still on my list in a randomizer wheel online and just randomly picking one. And that's what I react to each day. Every single movie in July is going to be this. Every single one will be randomly chosen via the wheel. And I'm going to be putting probably most of my list on there. Maybe not every single movie, but most of it. And so, yeah, there's going to be a lot to choose from. It's going to be a very wild month. But that will be, once again, in July. So there's still a month to go before then. But I'm excited for that. I'm calling it Summer Madness. So get excited for that. And then a normal, regularly themed monthly movie week will return in August. I already know what the theme is, but I'm going to keep that as a surprise for now and not tell you probably until the end of July. So yeah, June, we have our Pride Month. July, we're having Summer Madness, which will include a monthly movie week at the end of the month. And then August, we're kind of going back to normal. So yeah, hope you are excited for that. And with all of that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. I would love to hear your thoughts on this movie. Let me know if you loved this as much as I did. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. Thank you for tuning in to Animation Month. Now I guess we go back to our regularly scheduled programming. But for now, I'll see you all next time.